Update: my sister seems to think she's entitled to my trust fund and lied to try and get it. Original post: there's a bit of backstory to this, and I'm not sure what's relevant, but I'm sure you'll tell me if I blather on too much. Mostly I just need to rant. My 38 female family is a little messed up. I essentially have or had 5 parents and 3 different groups of siblings. It's a bit much. As a child, I was living in the US with my adoptive parents, and a lot of things went down that wasn't great, so I moved back to the UK when I was 9. I had a lot of trauma and the beginnings of a rather serious drug problem, and so my American dad set up a trust for me before he died, so that anything mental health related was paid for, and I didn't have to stress about being able to sort myself out as I got older. It's been rather handy over the last 30 years, paying for a home when I was a teenager, therapy, rehab, basically anything needed to help me not die. At some point in my teenage years, I made contact with my biological parents and their other kids, and was welcomed back into the fold. Some of my full siblings had issues with this. Fair enough, it was a big change to everyone's lives. My little sister, now early 30s, apparently found it particularly hard, and so we've never got along and have been no contact for almost a decade. This has become particularly apparent in recent weeks, after she contacted the solicitors who are in control of the trust, pretending to be from a rehab facility in the US. She sent them an invoice for a 3-month stay, requesting payment to the bank account of a friend of hers in the US. The first I heard about this was a phone call from said solicitors offering their commiserations that I was due to enter the facility, wishing me luck, and double-checking the details. I am livid. This is tens of thousands of pounds that she's tried to steal from me. Money that she has absolutely no right to. She never met my adoptive parents. She's not owed any money from them. She's lived a perfectly normal life with both of her parents. Her other siblings, holidays, uni paid for, no big dramas. And she thinks she can just take from me because she wants to buy a house? And thinks I should help her out because I ruined her childhood. Except she can't even just ask. She has to try and steal it. I have no idea what to do about this, because if I go to the police, then it'll create even more drama in the family that I could do without, and I feel like that's exactly what she wants. Our parents will side with her, and she knows it. I don't want to give her the satisfaction, but I'm just so mad that she chose this specific way to try and take what's not hers. It feels like such a low blow. Obviously, she's getting the sweet F around, but WTF? Edit to add because a few people have asked. My father had to bail me out of a crappy situation a couple of years ago, which included getting a flight to another country to come and get me. Obviously, I insisted he accept reimbursement for his flights, despite him not needing the money, so he would have had the details of my solicitors and the fund from that time. My sister often visits my parents, so I suspect she would have seen the information in my dad's office at some point. I've certainly never mentioned the fund to any of my siblings. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. You really should go to the police. If she had the audacity to do this, there is no stopping her from escalating even more. If your parents side with her, that is also useful information. You cannot trust them and should be very careful around them, if not just cut them off. Do not let these people treat you like this. Family or not, you deserve respect. Yep. Also, this is not probably the first time she tried fraud, scam, and identity theft. Other family members have also probably suffered from it. These scammers often try with family first, because it's easier to get family information to set up duplicate accounts. Might want to run a credit check on yourself as well. Calling the police is definitely the appropriate thing to do. Does she know you caught on to her attempt at stealing your money? Have you confronted her? If not yet, in passing mention someone was trying to commit fraud against your trust and your solicitors caught it, and there is going to be an investigation into who it was trying to commit this crime. And when they do find out, the person is going to be in a boatload of trouble. See how she reacts and your family to gauge how they feel not knowing yet it is her. She doesn't know yet. I asked the solicitors for some time whilst I tried to get my head around things before they or we did anything. I've not had contact with her in years. I wouldn't even know how to get hold of her without going through my parents. I might speak to them though, and mention that someone's tried to defraud me, then poke around asking a few questions a few days later and see what her reaction was. I have no doubt they'd tell her about it. Could be interesting. You might not have a choice if the solicitor has reported as attempted theft. Set up a password with a trust so she can't do it again. That trust is definitely locked down now, no doubt about it. I didn't think I needed it to be quite that secure because I didn't think anyone would do this. But oh well, we live and learn. Do you have a will? Make sure she can't inherit and knows it. Don't let your bio parents inherit either because she will think she can get it from them. Stay safe. I don't actually. I really should sort that eventually. When I die, what's left in my trust gets shared between my kids and my brother and niece in the US. That's all tied up right. So the UK side of things have zero chance of getting anything from there anyway. Mini update. So this got pretty overwhelming pretty quickly. I'm balancing getting things done and tied up with not losing my mind, which is always fun. The solicitors are reporting everything for me, as they are indeed required to do. Turns out I'd misunderstood and thought I had to get involved, but no, it's all on them, and I'm going to just let what happens happen. I'll be setting up a meeting at some point to go through all of the transactions made over the last 20 years or so, just to make sure nothing else nefarious has gone on. Thanks everyone for the reassurance that I'm not doing something wrong by wanting this sorted, but I'd appreciate a little less speculation on my life and the role my parents play in it, if you could manage that. Now for the full update 10 months later. I don't like to leave a story unfinished, so even if no one is interested, I'm just gonna leave this here. A final update about my sister feeling like she's entitled to my money and attempting to steal it from me. So, after months of pretty much just waiting, it turns out absolutely nothing is going to happen. No charges, no consequences, no official acknowledgement, beyond a few "we understand your frustration" emails. The friend whose bank account my sister tried to funnel the money into has been fully cleared. It would seem they had no idea what was going on. The police spoke to them early on, and it apparently became obvious quickly that they weren't actually involved. The US police won't take it any further because no actual funds were transferred, so there was no financial loss. And because my sister is in the UK police have closed their side of things as well because the US cops aren't interested, so she just gets away with being an a-hole once again, I guess. So that's that. 9 months of paperwork and stressful meetings with solicitors, and one minor mental breakdown, only to be told it's essentially gone nowhere, which is pretty anger-inducing but also kinda expected. Somehow that woman gets away with bloody everything. We haven't spoken, and we won't. I'm not sure what my parents' involvement with her is these days, but I know they won't be expecting us to be in the same room as one another again. So I guess that's some level of support. No contact prevails. I know this is frustrating, but you got a small win in that she was entirely unsuccessful in getting your money. This is true. I haven't read all the comments, so this may be redundant, but make sure your solicitors know to never pay out one single penny without your express permission, and maybe your notarized signature. I would set up a security code that only you know so no one can try to impersonate you. Also, make sure you have an ironclad will that your sister cannot contest. Maybe leave her $1 or pound so that she cannot claim you forgot about her. If OP is adopted, then legally speaking, her bio relatives aren't her relatives anymore, as all ties were legally cut. Yep, this. In the eyes of the law, other than my husband and kids, I have one stepmother and one niece. Time for a new bank, one that she does not know about. Solicitors have closed everything down and made it effectively inaccessible for anyone but myself and my husband, so we should be good on that front. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents if they subsidize my sister's living expenses, do not expect me to subsidize theirs? My sister has a decent job, but has yet to move out of our parents' house, because why pay rent, food, utilities, etc. when you can get it for free? She is 26 years old and loves to brag about how much she is saving by not paying rent and stuff. She is currently on a vacation with friends in Japan. So I recently told my parents they need to give her the boot and let her be an adult, or I will stop helping them out with their expenses. Our parents did good by us, and I don't mind helping them out, but I don't feel right giving my sister a pseudo-free ride. She brags about how she is ahead of the game for retirement and stuff. I told her of course she is, because all her major expenses are covered by someone else. Generally, my parents feel I am being petty because it is a lot harder for my sister's age group. I reminded them it was hard for me too, but I had to make it work. For whatever reason, they feel she has it so much harder and needs this extra support. I agree that maybe an aspect of jealousy is present because living at home was never an option for me. For my sister, it was just assumed, but the other reality is my parents could not afford to let her live rent-free if I was not helping them out. I'd pay their mortgage, insurance, and property taxes. They suggested I use that money to help my sister instead, so she can move out. What? She can afford to fly and stay in Japan for 1 month. She goes on multiple vacations a year, and she needs help paying rent? I get that they are worried about her mental health. She shuts down very easily, and in high school she had a bad stint with self-medicating. So sure they are afraid of her going back down that rabbit hole. Maybe I am just being the jealous older sibling because I didn't get the same type of love and care she did. I was old reliable. It was expected of me to do well. She got a B and it was a major event. I graduated with honors and got a card with $50. She graduates, and it's a major milestone and family event. I get that parents grow as they get older, and we have a 10-year age gap between us. Though yeah, am I being an a-hole here for not taking into account my sister's and her generation's issues and hardships? I have the means to help. Like my dad said, I should just help because it is the right thing to do. Am I being petty? Not the a-hole. Stop paying for their stuff, unless the house is yours. If the house is yours, your sister can pay rent to you. I really don't understand why you're paying everything for all 3 of them, which you are doing. I get the care insurance, but that's it. You say it doesn't affect your life, but it does. That money can secure your future. It feels like you're trying to buy their love. As the poster above has said, continue paying if the house goes in your name. Why are you giving them money they never gave you? Why don't you save that money for yourself and let your sister pay rent? You have been old reliable because you won't actually stand up for yourself. You are enabling your sister by helping your parents. If your sister has no job, how do you think she can afford to go live in Japan? You need to learn to be selfish like your parents and your sister by not giving them money they never gave you. Tell them you learned from them not to give money to family, as they have never given money towards you. She has a job, and what I give my parents is 100% disposable income. By no means am I hurting, which is where the pettiness comes into play. That's not the point that it's disposable. Why are you giving them money in the first place? Actually, what you are doing is already helping them subsidize your sister. You have to realize that, right? Was just trying to help out. They have been using said money to booster their retirement account. The original goal was to free up funds for them to save more for their retirement and for me to help them off the house sooner so when they retire, they don't have to worry about such a large sum. By 2031, the house should be paid off at the rate I am going. I also pay for their LTC insurance policies, just in case if they need them in the future. Yeah, I know, which is why I am torn, because I want to help them and allow them to live comfortably in their twilight years with minimal worries and concerns. I just don't want to let my sister coast by proxy. Last story. My sister cut me off because I didn't welcome them to my home for as long as they need vacation. Exactly as it says. My sister stopped talking to me because of a visit she decided to plan to the country where I live. At first, when she told me she and her family were thinking of coming, I was genuinely excited. I hadn't seen them in a long time, and I thought it would be a fun, meaningful reunion. But as the details started to come out, the excitement turned quickly into anxiety. They weren't talking about a short trip. They were planning to come for a couple of months. Not weeks, months. And from the way they talked about it, it was just automatically assumed that they would be staying with me the entire time. I started asking questions, trying to get a clearer idea of what the plan was. There was no plan. Every time I asked, the only consistent answer was, "We'll be there for a couple of months." They both intended to work full-time from my home during that time. Meanwhile, my boyfriend and I also work full-time from home. We have only 3 bedrooms. To accommodate them, I would have had to move my entire work setup into our bedroom. And on top of that, they would be working at odd hours because of the time zone difference, which meant constant noise and disruption. Another huge point, they had never even met my boyfriend. Not once. So the idea of them essentially moving into our home for months, working all day and night, taking over our space, and disrupting both of our jobs was overwhelming. The more details they casually mentioned, the more I felt a knot forming in my stomach. Nothing about it felt respectful or reasonable. So I talked to my sister and tried to offer a compromise that felt generous and manageable for everyone. I told her they were welcome to stay for 3 weeks. 2 weeks at our place, during which I would cover all the expenses for road trips and outings, and then 1 week where they could go explore wherever they wanted. I even said they could use our car for that final week. She was furious. According to her, I had no right to put a time limit on her stay. And since that conversation, she has refused to talk to me. It's been a year now, all because I set a perfectly reasonable boundary. Are you sure it was a vacation? Sounds more like moving in. Exactly. If they both work from home, there is nothing to push them to return back to their own home. Is there anyone else OP can talk to where she lives to find out if they are letting go of their place back home? Or mutual friends that might know what the sister is really up to? I would not let them stay at OP's house. Once they are there, it may be difficult to get them out. I have a brother in Italy. He's 2 years older. I live in NYC. I visit him every couple of years. I stay with him and his wife about 7 to 10 days. I cook a bit and pick up some bills at the supermarket. He came to stay but was really just passing through on the way upstate to see our mom. I picked him up and dropped him off at the airport 4 times and took him out for lunch. I recently got over a heart attack and stomach surgery last year. I'm just not feeling 100% yet. He was so offended I didn't roll out the red carpet and wasn't waiting on him enough, according to him. He was so upset he won't speak to me again. We spoke every day forever via online for 20 plus years. We were as close as brothers can be. I apologized that I disappointed him and did my best to patch things up, to no avail. It's just insane that he's gone no contact. We even buried our dad this past summer and I thought we came together. Nope. It's like I have no brother now. Just crazy how it went. You can only control your behavior. No one else's. Try and take the high road. Be kind and support them the best you can. But keep your peace. I really understand your predicament. Best wishes for resolution.